Picture this, the greatest scholar of his age, a devotee of Shiva who could make the very gods tremble with his devotion, now stands alone on a battlefield soaked with the blood of his own army. This is Ravana's final hour, and it's not just the end of a king but the climax of an eternal struggle between Dharma and Adharma. Ravana wasn't born evil. With 10 heads representing his mastery over the 4 Vedas and 6 Shastras, he was perhaps the most learned being of his time. His devotion to Lord Shiva was so intense that he once lifted Mount Kailash itself. Yet here he stands, abandoned by fortune, facing Rama with nothing but his pride and a heart consumed by desire. The battle has raged for days. Rama's arrows have already severed 9 of Ravana's heads, but each time a new one appears. This isn't just physical regeneration, it's symbolic of how our negative tendencies resurface despite repeated defeats. Each head represents a different aspect of ego, desire, anger, greed, delusion, pride, envy, injustice, cruelty, and lust. As the sun reaches its zenith, Ravana realizes this isn't merely a battle between 2 warriors. It's a cosmic confrontation between the forces that uphold universal order and those that seek to destroy it. Rama stands calm, divine, his bow steady. There's no hatred in his eyes, only the sad necessity of duty. Ravana's mind races back to that fateful moment when he first saw Sita in Panchavati. He could have simply asked Rama for her hand, could have won her through noble means. Instead, he chose deception, abduction, the path of Adharma. Now, as his strength wanes, he understands that his defeat began not on this battlefield, but in that moment when he let desire override wisdom. The Demon King's final weapon is the Brahmastra, a divine missile of immense power. As he invokes it, the very earth trembles. The sky darkens and cosmic forces align for this ultimate confrontation. But Rama, the 7th avatar of Vishnu, responds with an arrow blessed by Brahma himself. This isn't just metal and wood, it's the concentrated force of cosmic justice. In these last moments, something extraordinary happens. Ravana's scholarly mind, clouded for so long by ego, suddenly clears. He sees Rama not as his enemy, but as the divine incarnation he truly is. The Ramayana tells us that in his final breath, Ravana actually attains moksha, liberation, because his mind is completely absorbed in thoughts of the divine. This is the profound teaching hidden in Ravana's death. Even the greatest sinner can achieve salvation if their final moment is spent in divine contemplation. It doesn't matter whether that contemplation comes through love or even enmity, what matters is the complete absorption in the divine consciousness. As Rama's arrow pierces Ravana's heart, the 10-headed king doesn't curse or rage. Instead, he joins his palms in reverence. His last words acknowledge Rama's divinity and express gratitude for being freed from the cycle of ego and desire that had trapped him for so long. In death, Ravana finds the peace that eluded him in life. The fall of Lanka's king teaches us that knowledge without wisdom is dangerous, power without dharma is destructive, and desire without restraint leads to ruin. Ravana had everything: scholarship, devotion, strength, kingdom, yet he lost it all because he couldn't conquer the one enemy that matters most. His own ego, but there's hope in this darkness. Ravana's final redemption shows us that no soul is beyond salvation. No matter how far we've fallen, how many mistakes we've made, the path to divine grace remains open. What's required is the humility to recognize our errors and the courage to surrender our ego. Rama performs Ravana's last rites himself, honoring him as a great scholar and devotee despite their enmity. This act of compassion teaches us that even in victory, we must maintain respect for the divine spark that exists in every being, no matter how deeply it might be buried under layers of negativity. Ravana's last stand reminds us that the greatest battles aren't fought on external battlefields but within our own hearts. Every day, we face the choice between dharma and adharma, between ego and surrender, between desire and contentment. The mighty Demon King's fall serves as both warning and promise, warning of where unchecked ego leads, and promise that redemption awaits those who recognize the divine in their final moments.